Oops. All right, hooligans, hit that. Drop a 1 in the chat. There you go. First off, hit the like button on the new live. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me and hear me. I don't know what the problem is. We had to reset the live because of the shitty internet. I don't know. So tired of nothing working as hard as I do. Anyways, we're just going to go ahead and get into the next video because anything you guys said to the last one is now gone. Next up, we got growing questions after DOGE enters the U.S. Institute of Peace building. Now, I didn't know what the USIP is, and I do got details on it. But first, we're going to cover the takeover by DOGE. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you hooligans really quick, if you would like to participate in Free Speech Saturday, make sure you post all of your memes over on Discord or on jeffmaclive.com. Just hop in the group chats on either platform. You'll see the tabs labeled memes. Drop what you got and we'll shout you out as we're making Saturdays more fun. Alright, getting this video pulled up about DOGE taking over this USIP building. Come on, YouTube. Fucking load. I don't know what's wrong with their server. It sucks ass, though. Dude, do the fucking thing. Jesus loves us. Again, nothing works as hard as I do. Just President Trump. He's the only one. Nothing else works as hard as I do. Once again, this is DOGE taking over the USIP building. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as over on the CommuTube. And let's get into this.
Developing this morning, the X account for the U.S. Institute of Peace appears to have been deactivated. It comes after the Institute says DOGE employees entered its headquarters yesterday afternoon and refused to leave. News 4's Megan McGrath joins us live outside the headquarters. That's in Foggy Bottom. Following all the latest developments, Megan, what do we know at this hour?
Well, Erica, all is quiet right now, but if you take a look behind me here, you can see the private property no trespassing sign that has literally been scotch taped to the front door of the United States Institute of Peace. Now, employees have been told to work from home until further notice, and these doors are locked. Now, USIP is considering all legal options available, and we are expecting an update from them really within the next couple of hours. Now, the U.S. Institute of Peace is a private nonprofit. People who work here are not federal workers. The building is privately owned. But last Friday, DOGE fired most of the board and put a new acting director in place. DOGE staffers then tried to enter the building but were stopped. Now, they returned again on Monday and tried once again to enter the building, prompting USIP employees to actually call D.C. police and report it as a break-in. Now, police cruisers could be seen outside the building as tensions escalated. The organization's newly fired CEO, George Moose, says DOGE has no jurisdiction over USIP and their entry and actions are illegal.
We have been talking to them for many weeks now, and in anticipation of just this possibility, and also to remind them that we are a private, nonprofit corporation in the District of Columbia, and therefore not a federal agency, and therefore the federal government had no entitlement to come in and take over our building.
Now, despite that argument, DOGE staffers and the acting director were allowed inside the headquarters. Now, it's unclear if DOGE staffers are actually still inside the building at this point or not. We just don't know. Not a lot of activity here this morning. We are seeing the security. You were just seeing some of the security guards out front of the building. We did see two people trying to get inside. They wouldn't tell me who they were with, but the doors are locked and they were not able to get inside. But again, we are expecting some kind of a statement from USIP relatively soon, probably within the next couple of hours, in terms of what's going on, what is the status of things, and what they're thinking about in terms of possible legal action. Back to you.
Well, confusing and bizarre for the employees that work there. Megan McGrath live for us this morning. Megan, thank you.
Okay. Well, they got a lot of theatrics in that video. They say that DOGE was turned away last week and they came back this week and they were let in, but they weren't supposed to be let in, but they were let in ultimately. They were frantic and they called the police because what they did is illegal, but it was so illegal that nobody was arrested. And it's at the point where they don't even know if DOGE is still in the building or not, but they swear up and down that this is wrong. But even the local police won't do anything about it. Sounds to me like they were receiving some federal funds, some of them tax doll hairs, and maybe they were misusing it. And now DOGE showed up to, well, cripple the inside and shut down the whole department. We'll see, considering everything is such a frantic mess right now. I assume we'll have some sort of follow-up tomorrow to see if they're actually going to shut the building down, or maybe they're auditing it to try and figure out where this money's going. Now, like I said earlier, I've never heard of the USIP. It is an American independent nonprofit tasked with promoting conflict resolution and prevention worldwide. It provides research, analysis, and training to individuals in diplomacy, mediation, and other peace-building measures. Growing questions after DOGE enter the U.S. Institute of Peace Building. So, that's a whole lot of nothing. That's a whole lot of nothing. They're out here teaching people peace and diplomacy. Well, if that's what they're doing, then why have I never heard of the USIP? How come nobody's ever referencing the USIP? Like, what about AOC? She needs some diplomacy? Like, I don't know. It sounds like money laundering to me. It sounds like a bullshit department that they're just wasting money on. And, you know, DOGE being there just kind of reinforces that idea. Next up, we got some heavy propaganda. It's titled, "Some Measles Vaccines May Need Booster Shots," says the CDC. So now even the vaccines we've had for decades, now those aren't good enough. You're going to need boosters for this, that, and the other now. That's great. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat. See what you hooligans think about the USIP being sieged by DOGE. Zero, they were getting our tax dollars. Otherwise, DOGE would have left them alone. Yeah, I think so too, Zero. What's up, guess some? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Cassie J? Happy freedom to you. Jay Spray, how did they get on the DOGE radar if they're a private business? Exactly. So you've never heard of the peace building either? See, I think it's money laundering. I think it's a worthless organization was put together just to waste tax dollars. What's up, Roy? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Too Old to Care? Happy freedom to you. Bobby scam. Yeah, I'm thinking so. Ghostly, DC police would love to fuck over Trump if they could. Yeah, I think so too, but at the same time, they got called to the building and they didn't arrest anybody, so they must have some authority. And I think you can kind of tell because the guy who was doing all that soft speaking, like he was Chuck Schumer or some shit, and he was claiming that the building is non-profit owned and paid for and all of this, and then he says DOGE doesn't have the entitlement to come in here. You mean the authority, you fucking idiot? Is that it? The authority? Because if they didn't have the authority, how did they make it in the building? How'd they have the authority to tell everyone to go home? To tell them to work from home? How did that happen if they didn't have authority? Why did people comply with it if they didn't have authority? Why didn't police arrest them and drag them out for breaking and entering and potentially even kidnapping if they didn't have the authority? It's just a bunch of theatrics. That's what it is. Democrats out there crying their little eyes out. MC nonprofit funded by our tax dollars. Yep, exactly. What's up, Julie? Happy freedom. What's up, Silver Wolf? Welcome back. 70 degrees where you are? Not bad, Silver Wolf. Julie, delay opening the doors, so delete files. That's probably what was happening. When they denied him entry last week, that's probably what it was. They were destroying documents. Meta, where's the building located? I just know it's located in DC. I don't know where else. Like, I don't know more specific than that. What's up, Guess Who? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Pesky? Happy freedom to you. I need a booster shot of whiskey. I'm saying, Pesky. Flowers, happy freedom to you. DOGE needs to seize it all. Yeah, like I said, we will most likely have a follow-up video tomorrow to figure out what's going on with the U.S. What is it? The USIP building. What's up, Mr. Coffee? Happy freedom. 66 degrees in Chicago. It's not bad. It's supposed to get up in the 50s here, but it's false flag spring. We don't get real spring until just after April. So like whatever's going on outside, I'm just I'm just never minding it. I try to enjoy it while I can, but I'm not under any delusion that it's spring yet, because it ain't spring here in Michigan. What's up, John S? Happy freedom to you. Rob, YouTube finally posted the live. Oh, I'm not being shadow banned right now? Well, give it time. What's up, Too Real? Happy freedom. What's up, Retro? Just cut the funding. Easy peasy. Yep. What's up, Blue Crow? I'm assuming that's what they're doing. Oh, one. What do you think is happening? None of the files are released so far. I mean, I don't know. They're gearing up. It's supposed to come out today. In an hour and a half, they got the NASA. Well, I guess it's NASA. I don't know. They got the astronauts coming back. I'm wondering if they're going to use the astronauts as a way to pull attention away from the JFK files. Since we're waiting on both these things to happen later today, and the astronauts are getting a lot of publicity, and the JFK files are sort of getting publicity, we'll see how it goes. We got a video on the JFK stuff. It's coming up. Julie, DOGE found their address somehow. It's true. What's up, Pickle Rick? Happy freedom to you. All right, hooligans, we're going to get into this next one. Like I said, this is a hardcore propaganda piece. This is titled, Some Measles Vaccines May Need a Booster Shot, says the CDC. Now let's get this pulled up. Oh, we're back to the blue banners. That's nice. That's nice. YouTube sticking blue banners below videos. It's a symptom of censorship to come. Once again, this is titled, Some Measles Vaccines May Need Boosters, says the CDC. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the Commie Tube, and let's get into this.
It's 20 minutes to the top of the hour, everybody. Measles now spiking in several parts of the country, and it's creating panic. And it's leaving some who are already vaccinated wondering, do I have to worry about this or am I good? Well, that depends on when you were vaccinated. News Nation's Elizabeth Pran is following this one for us. So, Elizabeth, let's get this one straight here. Has the vaccine changed over the years?
Yeah, there's been a number of iterations, right? It's changed in potency. It's changed in how it's presented. So the MMR vaccine that I got in the early 80s looks similar really to what my kids got, but not to my older siblings or my parents. There was really a big shift in the 70s. So let me break it down for our viewers depending on when you were born, right? So if you were born before 1957, so let's say you're 68 years old or maybe a little bit older, you're likely protected. Measles was rampant at that time. You could talk about antibodies being widespread, herd immunity. Now, if you were born between 1957 and 1962, so let's say you're younger 60s, it's a little bit fuzzy here. The vaccine rollout was just taking place and the disease was still circulating, so you might have antibodies. And the same guidance right around 1967. So at that time, the initial rollout of the vaccine, so between 1963 and 1967, it was an inactive version of the vaccine. So not as effective. But then again, you may have the antibodies. Now, if you're a 70s or an 80s baby, as I mentioned, we're pretty much protected, right? As I mentioned, the MMR debuted at the time. It's what kids are given today. Do you know if you have it? A simple antibody test would tell you that. Who is most at risk? Obviously, healthcare workers, someone who travels a lot, specifically internationally, and of course, people who are in a classroom setting. So kids, even college students. Marquis?
Yeah, a lot of people consulting their doctors or pediatricians right now on this one. And Elizabeth, before we let you go, we are still seeing an uptick in these cases, right?
We're really seeing a wave. We're seeing one out of Texas. Health officials give updates on Tuesdays and Fridays, so we're waiting to see if the cases are rising there. Right about 300 that we know of across the nation, across 15 states. You might be wondering, why are we seeing the spread? Well, basically, there is still vaccine hesitancy. And keep in mind, if you are not vaccinated, you have a 20% chance of ending up in the hospital if you contract this very, very contagious disease. Look at some of these stats. Between 2023 and 2024, the number of vaccine exemption requests went up from 3 to about 3.3%, so an uptick across 40 states. And 14 states say they're seeing a 5% request for vaccine exemption. So important
Lying makes
statistics,
you weak.
very significant. Measles, as I mentioned, is hugely contagious. It's hugely preventable. We had conquered it about 25 years ago. Doctors say you need herd immunity. You need that 95% vaccination rate in order to stave off the disease. As I mentioned, can stay active in a room for up to 2 hours, Marquis. It's very contagious.
Yeah, that herd immunity important in keeping this at bay. Elizabeth Pran, thank you so much for breaking down the latest for us there. Thanks for watching.
Okay. I love how they talk about vaccine hesitancy, and then they turn around and say it's gone up 0.3%. Well, obviously, there's not that much of an increase in vaccine hesitancy if it's only gone up 0.3%, not even a whole percent. They do all this fear mongering. Oh my God, people are scared to get vaccinated. It's going to kill grandma. Your cats and dogs are going to die, especially if the Haitians don't eat them. But it's really it's just become 0.3% more hesitancy towards it. Like, what? That is so stupid. That is so stupid. It's bad enough that they're trying to do this fear mongering. If you don't get revaccinated for the measles, then there's a 20% chance if you do catch the measles, you might end up in the hospital. I don't know. Or get a vaccine that'll be in your body for life. I don't know. I think I'll risk the 20% of going to the hospital. And then they break it down into age groups. If you're this old, you're going to die. You're just not going to make it. You're not going to make it. Don't leave the house. Don't wear a trash bag over your head. Make sure you duct tape it all the way around your neck, or else you're going to die. Like, these people are so stupid. So stupid. Now the measles vaccines needs a booster. Pretty soon they're going to be handing out chickenpox boosters and everything else. This is so stupid. This is a slippery slope here. I think a lot of people are not going to comply with this shit. I think this is like walking towards lockdowns, and there's people who got PTSD from it. If you were to try and lock down some of these people out here, they would freak out. They would freak out. So I'm waiting to see when this grows and they continue to talk about adding boosters onto pre-existing vaccines. I wonder how many people are going to try and stand against this, because nobody wants to go back to the COVID days. I don't know. I mean, there's people who want to go back to being at home and getting unemployment, and I can't even think of the checks that came in the mail. I can't even think what they're called. There's people who want to do that, but nobody wants to go back to the lockdowns. Nobody wants to go back to the restrictions and forced to wear masks and all the other stupid. Nobody wants that shit. And these boosters being tacked on to pre-existing vaccines is where that path goes. This is all about control. This is bullshit. And even if you do get the measles, unless you have like a compromised immune system or something, your chances are you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. So why put an experimental this, that, and the other inside of your body when you're going to be all right if you get the measles? It's stupid. I don't know why they're holding on to these measles like a safety blanket. I think COVID is just deaf on people's ears at this point, so they needed to come up with a new name. They had the monkeypox, but then everybody just made fun of it. And so that didn't work. They were like, nah, we need the measles. I don't know. This stuff is really stupid to me. Like I said, propaganda. Now your current vaccines aren't good enough. Next up, Trump and Putin speak for an hour as the U.S. seeks a plan to end the Ukraine war. Now, there isn't any real details on how the conversation went. This is more or less just stating that he is doing what he said he was doing. Yesterday, we covered a video saying that he was going to be talking to Putin. This video is about him talking to Putin. Now, they haven't come to an agreement yet, but they're stepping in the right direction. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this measles propaganda. Russell, I even got the smallpox vax in the Army. Yeah, I wonder when the booster for that's coming out. Like, it's so dumb. Are they hurting for money? Is that what it is? The USAID getting shut down just really stomped on their little nuggets? And so now they need to come up with clever ways to make money? Russell, the measles vax has been around for decades. Yeah. I like how they try to break it down into age, though. If you're in your mid-60s, you're going to die. If you're older than that, you're fine. If you're younger than that, you're probably fine. Like, what? Okay, whatever you say. Wait till they bring race into this. And be like, well, if you're a white person, you're probably going to kick the bucket. You should probably get out there and get vaccinated. Especially if you're ultra white, you're pale, you're like a translucent. You're going to need 2 boosters. Oh, okay. They should have Fauci do it. Just have him get on the TV and tell us. It's like we're going backwards. Jay Spray, they're trying to grab at anything they can in order to start another pandemic. Yeah, I think so too. Holy, guess I can't read that out loud, but that's hilarious. Russ, I was vaxxed as a kid for measles. I don't know if I was or wasn't. I could be unvaccinated for measles. I still wouldn't be scared of it. Zero, just like the COVID jab, was targeted to those 70 and older. Yep. I seen someone yesterday wearing a mask, scratching lotto tickets and trying to cut people in line to go get more lotto tickets. I was highly frustrated at this individual prancing around me. I'm going to chop him right in his throat, see if the mask will save him. Hair juicer causing panic. Show me one fucking panic or shut the fuck up. Exactly, hair juicer. I don't know anybody that's concerned about the measles. News Nation is the only person I know, like the only group of people I know worried about measles. Guess thank you, border crossers. Yeah, exactly. Josh 1776 says, it mirrors this chick's eyes super far apart. I think they're hiring lizard people over at News Nation. Josh 1776, don't you get shingles from the measles vaccine? I don't know. I don't really know. Shroomish, they still wear masks because they're ashamed. He had brown streaks across his mask. I don't know if he was storing it in his ass or what he was doing, but I was just, I'm not impressed with Democrats. Not at all. J-Dog, you should have chopped him. I would have, but I already got 3 strikes on my assault record. I can't do that anymore unless it's really worth it. Appeal to heaven, happy freedom to you. I had chickenpox twice, no measles though. I've never heard of anybody catching it twice. Glad you survived it. Brian, what about chickenpox? They talked about that one anymore? I think it's coming up if the measles don't work. They're going to call it the super chickenpox. You're going to need 2 boosters for that one. Bobby, sexy chickens. I couldn't help myself. Jesus loves us, Bobby. Gotta leave those chickens alone. My goodness. Kevin, is that why they're all doing the Hitler salute? Because they got the German measles? It might be, Kevin. I don't know. You gotta ask News Nation. They're scared to death over there. Appeal to Evan Fauci was in the interview talking about bird flu, so he knew it was coming. They said this chicken flu thing has been going on since 2018 or 2019 or something. But it wasn't until President Trump got inaugurated that all of a sudden we had to pay $10 for eggs. This has been like 5-6 years in the making. But then all of a sudden in the last 60 days, the prices just snuck up on us. I don't know. It's so stupid. It's all so stupid. And it all comes out of News Nation. All of that information comes from News Nation. Triggered, are you scared yet? No, I'm not. They'd have to really do something to make me scared. What's up, Nana? Happy freedom to you. Kevin, the bumblebee pox. I don't give him any ideas. What's up, Mike T? Happy freedom to you. Meta, pure blood, staying that way. Yeah, there's a lot of people who feel like that. Yep. What's up, Lisa? Happy freedom. Are the files out yet? No, not that I know of. What's up, content? Happy freedom to you. Name the states. Tell me they aren't blue states. Texas is the big one they highlight. I think the other ones are blue states, but Texas is the one they highlight the most because they got the most cases. I don't remember what they said in that video, but the last video we covered, they said there was like 105 cases in Texas. But the thing is, if it only lasts 2 or 3 days, then there's not 100 open cases of the measles in Texas. There has been this year. And this happens every year. What is his name? Bobby Jr., RFK Jr., he's already said, they've already asked him 2 or 3 times during these meetings with President Trump and DOGE and all this kind of stuff going on. He's been present for that. The reporters ask him, what do you think about the chicken pox? What do you think about egg prices? Da, 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 da. And he says, you know, this happens every year. This is not new. People catch the measles and stuff every year. This is not a new thing. But Trump's in office, so you got to act like he ain't doing good no matter what's going on. You have Democrats burning down buildings, and they're like, look what Trump's letting happen. That's how they do it. Guess who? Maybe the people who support this stuff should wear masks so we could avoid them in public or mock them. I think it should be and instead of or, but yeah. I like that they self-identify as idiots wearing those compliance cloths across their face. They should just put their head in a cage. That's what they should do. Just walk around with their head in a cage. Contempt. Texas is a bad example nowadays of a pure red state. Yeah, it's really weird that all the representatives from Texas are like left-wing radicals. Like, what is her name? Crockett. She's a mess. Crockett's a mess. Dan Crenshaw. He's a piece of shit. It's weird the representatives of... Dude, what's up, Visions? Mills, you had chickenpox twice? It's better with ketchup? That's not the same thing, Mills. My internet is ridiculous today. What's up, Tom? Happy Freedom. You used to be a fighter. Me? No. What? Look at my ears. I'm not a fighter. No. Not a professional fighter. Street fighter. Wayward. I think shingles comes from having chickenpox as a kid. I don't know anything about shingles. Oh, did we get censored on YouTube? No, we're not censored on YouTube. Everybody's saying it's froze. It ain't froze. I wonder if YouTube's the one causing all this buffering. I wonder if it's pulling on the live. Meta, pigs are depressed, and it's catchy. Shut the country down. Sad pig alert. Shroomish, call Crenshaw, eye patch McCain from now on. I don't know anything about McCain. That's the only reason why I don't say that. Alright, hooligans, we're going to get into this next video before my internet has another hiccup and I got to just burn this house down. Let's see. Trump and Putin speak for an hour as U.S. seeks plan to end the Ukraine war. Let's get this pulled up really quick. Well, there is no really quick with YouTube because it's having buffering issues forever, but that's okay. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you, hooligans, really quick, if you'd like to join the membership program over on Rumble, all you have to do is click that big red subscribe button right below where you type in the chat. Now, if you're on Android and you're using the Rumble app, you're unable to see that big red subscribe button. So you got to go to rumble.com, come to the live, hop in the chat. And like I said, right below where you type in the chat, you will see that big red subscribe button. Click that button and jump through the hoops, and your name will be highlighted as an official Rumble hooligan. You'll have access to our custom emojis. We have chapstick emojis, scream and goat emojis, Klaus Daniels emojis, President Trump emojis, and more. It's a lot of fun during the live, especially during a Trump live. So, like I said, we're getting into this video here. This is Trump and Putin. Within an hour.
12:13, President Trump is speaking with Russian President Putin today to try to get him closer to a ceasefire deal with Ukraine. As Rebecca Castro reports, the leaders are discussing dividing up assets between the countries at war to end the fighting.
It's a somber morning in western Ukraine as President Volodymyr Zelensky visits a military cemetery to pay his respects to his fallen soldiers. Meanwhile, a critical conversation is taking place between the leaders of the United States and Russia that could determine the fate of more Ukrainian troops.
We're getting down to a very critical stage, and we want to get the whole Russia-Ukraine thing done. And I think Ukraine wants it. I know they want it. Everybody wants it.
On a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin today, President Donald Trump will try to push him closer to accepting a 30-day ceasefire agreed to by the U.S. and Ukraine last week.
What he's expecting, and I don't think he's going to get it, but he wants President Trump to help him up off the mat because he's put himself and he's put his country in an extremely weak position.
The two leaders will also discuss what Ukraine may have to give up, including land and a power plant on the Ukraine-Russia border. But when it comes to the disputed territory of Crimea, the White House is pushing back on reports Trump will recognize the strategic peninsula as Russian soil, with the National Security Council telling Fox News, "We have made no such commitments and we will not negotiate this deal through the media." President Trump says he's considering large-scale sanctions and tariffs on Russia if it does not commit to the peace process. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox 32 Chicago. Sylvia, back to you.
Okay. So like I said, not necessarily new stuff going on here. Just a couple more details that President Trump is doing what he said he would do. He mentioned yesterday from Air Force One that he would be talking to Putin today or in the upcoming future to try and get things resolved. Ukraine has already agreed to the ceasefire. They're trying to get Putin to agree with it as well. And then from there, they can go ahead and negotiate their terms to have peace for their peace agreement and whatnot. Now, Ukraine was originally hesitant about the ceasefire because that wasn't good enough for them. Apparently, in the past, they had a ceasefire with Russia, and Russia didn't honor the ceasefire or any of the other agreements that went along with it, which is what caused the kind of conflict that happened in the White House between President Trump, J.D. Vance, and Zelensky. Was all about that. Now, Zelensky has kind of changed his mind after running to every other country begging for money like a crackhead with cheeseburgers in a bag, and came to the conclusion that he needs us. He needs us to help him, or he's going to get taken over by Russia. Now, you wouldn't think that by watching that video, because for some reason they always talk about how Russia's going to lose the war, but Zelensky's the one that's always here crying about losing the war. So I don't know what that's about. But either way, we're on the brink of a peace deal. It just depends on what they all come up with during this phone call. Now, as you can see, they had the phone call, but then they're not telling us the actual results. So I assume tomorrow, if not tomorrow, the next day, we'll have a follow-up video that will let us know how the whole phone call went. Next up, Roberts rejects Trump's call for impeaching judge who ruled against him. We've been covering about the mass deportation, and the latest update on the mass deportation is that everything's been halted. We were sending illegals to Supermax in El Salvador. That's not happening anymore. We were sending illegals to Guantanamo Bay. That's not happening anymore. We were sending illegals, well, I mean, just the deportation in general is not happening right now because this judge ruled that it's like inhumane and they don't have legal right to counsel and they're not getting fair trials and all this stuff that's really reserved for us Americans. It's not for illegals. They don't have constitutional rights of America. They just have human rights. Like, we're not supposed to torture them. We're supposed to give them water and stuff. We're supposed to let them talk, but we don't necessarily have to hear what they have to say. That's about the limitations of their rights. They don't have a right to an attorney, and if they can't afford one will be appointed to them. That's reserved for us Americans. But because of this radical judge, now it's stifling the mass deportation. They got to go to court, and they got to appeal, and they got to do a bunch of crap to get around this judge's orders, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense that the judge is somehow more powerful than the president of the United States. But that's the game we're playing. So all of that's coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this phone call between President Trump and Vladimir Putin of Russia. What the fuck is this? Jeff Crenshaw? That's rough stuff. That is rough stuff. Russell, Austin is liberal as hell. Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's the live is frozen now. I am being tested so hard today. Weird. I don't know. I'm not seeing it frozen over on Rumble. Stupid. I wish I could become my own internet service provider. I wish I could just do my own everything. Like I said, nothing works as hard as I do except for President Trump. What's up, Cheeky Chops? Happy freedom to you. Thank you for letting me know, Visions. Wayward Jeff Mac Shaw. Yeah, I guess. I don't know why today's got to suck. What's up, AR-16? Happy freedom to you. Anyways, we'll just go ahead and move forward before I get all pissed off. This next one's titled, Roberts rejects Trump's call for impeaching judge who ruled against him. Now, most of the time when they're showing this crap, you know what, since I'm having problems, we're going to show everybody else having problems. I'm so sick of this shit. Every time I go to play a video, look how fast everything loads. Everything's there, except for the fucking video. And you just got to sit here and wait a million years for it. Hate that shit. Anyways, in this situation, everyone is acting like President Trump is the bad guy because he's saying we need to impeach this judge that is standing against the mass deportation. That's bullshit. The mass deportation is good for all of us. All of us here in America, whether you're a Democrat or not. So it's not Trump's fault. It doesn't make him a bad person that somehow a judge can override what the President of the United States does and then also halt a mass deportation that benefits every American in the country. Somehow that's Orange Man bad, I guess. Anyways, let's get into this.
In an extraordinary situation in Washington, the President of the United States and the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court appear to be in open conflict right now. This began when President Trump called for impeaching a judge who had ruled against him in a deportation case. This judge said the president could not move forward with his plan to deport people to El Salvador. Next, after this, the Chief Justice, John Roberts, issued his own statement saying it is not appropriate to call for impeaching judges who do not rule the way you want them to, that the appropriate venue for that is to appeal the case and to work through the appellate process. This is an extremely rare situation. Almost never does a Chief Justice issue a statement like this, let alone after or in response to a statement from the president himself. So what you're seeing here is inching closer to open conflict between the executive branch and the judicial branch, and laying the groundwork for the possibility of a constitutional crisis.
Oh, a constitutional crisis. I don't know. These people are just trying to keep illegals here. Like, I don't know why they have to use semantics about everything. Stupid Democrats and their dumbass labels. They're trying to keep illegals in the country so somebody will vote for blue team during the midterms and maybe even during the next presidential election in 2028. I don't think it's going to work, though, because what they're dancing around is vigilante justice. That's what it is. Everybody's already tired that no one's being arrested, no one's going to jail, no one's being held accountable, and the only people who get the short end of the stick are the people that follow the laws. That's it. And so they keep bringing these illegals in here, and they keep hunting us down and raping and killing and kidnapping and doing all that stuff. Eventually, people are going to start turning against those kind of people, and bad things are going to happen. And then the police are going to blame white supreme pizzas for raining in the streets and all this other shit, when really they're causing these problems. Do what's right. How about that? Do what's right. There's not enough of that going on, I swear to God. Just fucking fantastic. Take me now, God. Like I was saying, Stephen Miller tearing into Biden, giving us more details on how bad the situation actually is with AutoPen. It's not that just the pardons were signed. It seems like everything was signed with this AutoPen. And they don't think that Biden was actually aware of the things being signed with the AutoPen. They think that he may not have even been present. He may not have even been in D.C. when these documents have been signed. Now, I don't know what they're going to do about it, because it seems like nothing ever gets done. But either way, that's what's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat and see what you hooligans think about President Trump suggesting that we should impeach this judge that ruled against him and halted the mass deportation. Guess some judge is just trying to make a name for himself? Absolutely. Russell, the judge will be overturned. Yeah, I just wonder how long it's going to take, because they're saying they've only deported 33,000 illegals out of the 25 million illegals that exist in the country. And now they can't even do any more deportations because they have to deal with this stupid court thing now. Now, what if they deal with this and it takes a couple weeks to get done, they get through with it, and then another judge does this? I don't understand why judges are more powerful than the president. Where were these people at when Biden was wrecking the country with executive orders? Where were these people at? Is there no conservative judges? Are they all radical liberals? Because not one person stood against Biden while he was just nosediving our country for 4 or 5 years. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Nobody stood against it. Everyone just let that shit happen. They act like it was the word of God. He's like, today, we're going to just fire all these people and we're no longer going to be energy independent. We're going to rely on other countries. And everyone was like, cool. And that was it. Nobody did anything about it. So I was like, great, we got Trump in. He's going to make all these executive orders and we're going to turn things around. Nope. Not even kind of, sort of. It's like he's trying, but what does it matter? Like, he's off on his own. He might as well be on an island making these decisions, because they're not affecting us because people are standing in the way. That sucks. And now we're all waiting on the JFK files, and I'm waiting to see how redacted they are. Zero, they've proven the AutoPen was used many times when he was not in D.C. Yeah, but what are they going to do about it? Josh 1776, the AutoPen should have pardoned itself. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think they should do away with the AutoPen. J-Dog, is it windy in Michigan? No, it's a bright sunny day. It's like 55 degrees. There's nothing going on. Tree herder, they're all in on it. Yeah. What's up, Pumpkin? Happy Freedom. What's up, Elder Zoomer? Happy Freedom to you. Mills, AutoPens are for souvenirs. Yeah, it's supposed to be like if you were signing posters, right? You, like, say you're a rapper or some shit and you're signing posters for all your fans, you could use an AutoPen for that. Random things like that. But it's not supposed to be used for documents that change the laws of our country and stuff like that. But that's how it goes. We knew it was a sham. What really sucks is that they're admitting that it was a sham, and then nobody's still doing anything about it. That's the worst part about covering politics, is you get to think that everything's bad, and then after 4 years, you get to hear that everything actually was as bad as you thought, and in some cases, even worse. And then nothing happens. Nobody does anything about it, and all of us have to follow the law or else. That fucking sucks so bad. What's up, Shane? Happy freedom to you. Appeal to Evan. Hunter doesn't have Secret Service anymore, nor does his daughter-in-law. Yeah, I think Secret Service has been pulled from all the Bidens except for Joe. Because yesterday, a reporter asked President Trump about Hunter Biden being in South Africa and having like 16 or 18 Secret Service with him, members of Secret Service. And President Trump didn't know anything about that, and he said he would look into it. And then later on, he posted on Truth Social that he pulled all of their Secret Service, everyone except for Joe Biden. What's up, Green? Happy freedom to you. Thank you for being here, Guessam. Alright, hooligans, we're going to get into this next one. Like I said, this is about the Otto pen. This is by Stephen Miller. It's titled, "It's Not Just the Pardons That Were Signed by the Otto pen." Now again, this is a follow-up here. Come on, YouTube, do the fucking thing. Come on, YouTube, whenever you want to, you just fucking do the thing. Okay. I'm probably going to be drinking today. Anyways, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
What's Colombia? Stephen, so the president last night said that President Biden's pardons of those involved in the January 6th committee are void. Does it mean that he might have plans to further investigate either January 6th or the 2020 election results?
Well, I mean, the president said, since this is an important point, by the way, it's not just that the pardons were signed with an Otto pen. It's that clearly the former president, Joe Biden, had absolutely no awareness of or any clue about what was being signed in his name. He's on a beach in Delaware doing God knows what. In other words, you have all these instances where you can show that something was signed by an Otto pen when Joe Biden was not even physically present, aware, around at all. And so the accumulation of evidence makes clear that Joe Biden had no awareness, no knowledge, no participation, and frankly, in the administration of government for 4 years, but in particular, in this case, with respect to his pardons, which then means, of course, the Department of Justice has its own authorities to pursue as it sees fit. Any other questions?
Stephen, on the same note, are you aware of any investigations that the president has called for into any of the people who were on the January 6th committee?
Well, I mean, the president has been clear publicly for a long time about his view about the misconduct that has occurred. For example, the erasure of all of the records, what can only be described as one of the most preposterous cover-ups that we've ever seen. And again, the Department of Justice has its own authorities and is able to pursue those under the direction of the Attorney General.
Okay. So, like he's saying, it's like most documents were signed with the Otto pen while he's on the beach in Delaware and stuff like that. What I want to know is, what are we going to do about that? What are we going to do about that? We just going to know that? Just going to know it? That's what I worry about the JFK files. I've been thinking about that shit all day. President Trump says 80,000 pages of the JFK files are coming out today at some point. But what does it matter? That's what I was kind of thinking. Like, what does it do? It doesn't do anything. And so it's like, I don't know. I really don't want to talk a lot about it until we get to it. But it's like the Epstein files. We're worried about getting the files. How come nobody's talking about making arrests? The government knows what's on the files. They know who was doing the things. How come nobody's being arrested? It's driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts to have all these damn looming problems. We all know why the problems are here, but nobody's interested in solving the problems. That sucks. Next up, we got, we're at that point. President Trump announces the release of all JFK files tomorrow, which is today because the video is from yesterday. So at some point today, we're expected to receive 80,000 pages of these JFK files. And like I said, I don't really know what this is going to do. but President Trump has suggested that he wants them released unredacted. Now, if it's up to Pam Bondi, she's going to redact the whole damn thing, apparently, because that's how the Epstein files were. But we'll see how it goes. It will be interesting, and there's a lot of people who think it's going to be incriminating the CIA. Again, what is it really going to matter if it does incriminate the CIA, because who's going to do anything about it? But either way, that's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this auto pen situation. Russell, he needs to put floor wax on his head. That guy he's completely clean on top. He's got the hardwood on top. Russell, Stephen Miller is a boss. Yeah. He is kind of sassy. He seems a little sassy. What's up, Metal Mouth? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Rolling Pony? Rolling Pony, Trump should revoke the Soros family U.S. citizenship and not allow China to buy and run anything in America. I agree. They own a lot. Like 300 million acres of land here in the U.S. or something like that. It's a lot. There's no reason why somebody like that should be owning property here in America. We couldn't buy property in China. As far as I know, they would not allow us to purchase or own anything in China unless we were citizens of China. Pumpkin, just give me the list of names and I will go arrest them. We're just waiting on the list, Pumpkin, but at least you're willing to do something about it. Bobby, null and void. Yeah, and they should. They should make all the stuff signed with Biden's auto pen void. And that means everybody who got pardons wouldn't be pardoned anymore. So if they wanted to go after Fauci or any of those other guys, they would be within their legal right to do that. It was bad enough when we were talking about preemptive pardons, where people were being pardoned when they didn't even do anything yet. And now we're finding out the pardons, they were done with auto pen by some rando. Pumpkin, no one in the White House should use auto pen. I agree. And it seems like they're not taking it seriously. Like, what if you signed a declaration for war? Well, if we're at war right now, but it was actually signed by some gay intern who had control of the auto pen. You know, Biden was taking a nap. Some 20-year-old put us in war. What's the consequences? Nothing. Nothing, I guess, because everything has been signed with the auto pen is still there, still doing the thing. I don't know. What do we follow the law for? Because we have to. That's why. Snooks, it's after 5 p.m. now. I bet the JFK files will be delayed until tomorrow. Maybe. I don't know. When did they release the Epstein files? I'm going to have to pull up X. Because that's where everything from the White House goes straight to X. Because they don't speak to we the people. They just give shit to influencers on X. Shouldn't be that way, but things aren't up to me. As far as I know, the stuff's still not released. A lot of people still asking for, where's the files? Oh well. What's up, Information Warlord? Happy freedom to you. Ghostly, Trump is ignoring Biden's pardon, so I call it a win. If he went and arrested Fauci, I'd call it a win. I don't know. You know, he wants mass deportations, and they're not happening right now, so I can't just say it's a win because he wants them. I like President Trump and the things he's trying to do. I just wish somebody else would help him out here and make things happen. What's up, Mrs. BC? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Crazy Times? Happy freedom to you. Corey Luca, happy freedom to you. This is Tulsi Gabbard's gig today, not Pam Bondi. Well, we'll see how Tulsi Gabbard does. There's a lot of people that don't trust her because she used to be a Democrat. Hey, thank you for being here, Visions. Don't work too hard out there. What's up, Eric? Happy freedom to you. Shane, even with the pardons, they could still be subpoenaed into court and forced to tell the truth or commit perjury. and they aren't pardoned for that. Yeah, Shane. The problem is, though, we've seen them go in there to these congressional hearings and stuff and lie. They just go out there and lie, and nothing happens. Or even when they tell the truth, nothing happens. Like we watched, what is his name? Oh my God, I can't think of his name right now. He's like a representative of Tennessee or something like that. Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley acts like a badass. He like makes a lot of sense. He sets people up to walk into their own traps. He is very clever with the way he has conversation. We watched him talk to Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey when he was in control of X, when it was still Twitter, and all these people. And he was like, so you guys are invading the privacy of Americans? And they're like, no. And he's like, okay, so everything you do is included in your terms of service. And they're like, yeah. And then he starts busting out these big ass screenshots, and he's like, no, you're not. You guys are sharing information about users between different social media platforms in order to track them, learn what they're doing, store their information, and learn to advertise to them while also selling their information to China. Josh Hawley knows that. Told them. They admitted to it. And then they all called it a good day, and then they went back to committing more crimes, invading our infringing on our right to privacy and other things. And no one ever did anything about it. They admitted it in front of everybody, in front of all of us, live. And then nobody did anything about it. And so that's what I mean. It's like, we're just learning how we're getting fucked. No one's going to stop the fucking. Just continue to grab your ankles. But we're just learning whose turn it is next and how wide you got to spread your cheeks. But don't you worry. They'll never stop fucking us. And I think that's where we are. And that sucks, but at least we know now. Anyways. Kami, my distrust in Tulsi has more to do with her affiliation with the WEF than her party. Loyalty to her party over nation is a big part of the country's problem. Democrats and Republicans both suck. Yep, you're right. What's up, Phillips? Happy freedom to you. Snooks, Right Side Broadcasting went off the live an hour ago. Well, yeah, So the reason Right Side Broadcasting was live is because President Trump is supposed to be signing an executive order at 3:30 p.m. today. They don't go live for that. I don't know why. It's supposed to be the most transparent administration out of all administrations, but for some reason when it comes to executive orders, it is never shown live. I think Right Side Broadcasting was live in case they got the feed, because they give influencers on X all the feeds for the executive orders. And at some point, they just kind of release them whenever they want to. And then when that happens, then Fox or the National Desk or whatever, they will start playing those videos as if they're live, but they're not live. It'll say previously aired or moments ago in the top corner. And I think Right Side Broadcasting, what they've been doing is they go live, they talk and talk and talk and talk and talk until they get a video. Then they play the executive order video, then they wrap it up. But they must have got word that they weren't getting the executive order video, so they just wrapped it up anyway. That right there is why I don't monitor that crap anymore, because whoever's in charge of media at the White House is doing awful. They're doing awful at this. And so I don't know if we'll get to see, hear, or know what the executive orders that were signed today, but I don't think that that has anything to do with the release of the JFK files. I don't know when we're going to get that stuff, but I don't think Right Side Broadcasting was intended on covering it live. Appeal to having nothing about the ceasefire on Truth. Yeah, there was somebody in the chat saying that something happened, that Russia did an airstrike on Ukraine after the phone call or something, so I have to look into that after the live. I'm glad you got your refund, Mary Todd. I'm sorry about that situation going the way it did. Damn Postal Service. Metal Mouth, whoever's in charge of the media at the White House is seriously dropping the ball. Yeah, I wish President Trump knew like how clunky the media from the White House is going right now. because what they're doing makes sense, modernizing communication with the American people by using social media instead of using legacy media. But the problem is they've allowed legacy media to have such a reach for so long that unless they actually post the shit on social media themselves, handing stuff off to the influencers is not working. That stuff is not working because it's always random people posting clips and stuff, and the time is off. Like I'm saying, executive orders were signed at 3:30. At 3:30, not one person was posting about the executive orders. Now it's after 5 o'clock. So now I'm sure people are posting only on X, not on any other social media platform, only on X. And I'm sure it's like 4 or 5 people posting random 12-second clips of the executive orders being signed. Now, when you're scrolling, taking your shit, you see that clip and you don't know if that's from today. You don't know if it's from yesterday. You don't know if it's manipulated. You don't know anything about it. And that's it. That's how the White House provides it to you. That's not good enough. That's not even kind of good enough. And so I don't know. There's just some things going on with the media at the White House that needs to be changed. That's not President Trump's fault necessarily, because it's not like he's holding the camera. It's not like he's typing the shit out, right? It's someone that he's hired, or someone he's hired had hired that person. But something needs to be changed. Something needs to be done about it, because it's not good enough. It's like not even kind of good enough. Shroomish, Trump does that to help Elon. He might, but I wish they would make an official announcement. You know, like, hey, if you want to hear from the White House, you have to create an account on X. You got to follow Elon. You got to follow these 6 influencers. And when they release information, just know that's from us here at the White House. Like, they should make an actual announcement if they're not going to do things, you know, the way things have always been done, which is fine. Change is good in this situation, but it's not, what they're doing is not effective. What's up, Shark? Happy Freedom. Mills, they should post all releases to the government website, and all media gets it at the same time, social media and mainstream media. Yeah, Mills, that's what I think too. And that's why I hate bringing up the Biden administration, because they didn't do anything right except for the media. Every time they had a live, like they had every live scheduled on the White House website by 9 a.m. every day. Every day at 9 a.m. I could go to the White House Live website and see every single live that's going to run, what time it's going to run, a link to the YouTube link that will show the live, and that was ready by 9 a.m. every day. And if it was live, it was just live. It didn't say previously aired or previously recorded. Now, what makes me so frustrated is that we would watch Old Man Walter sit there on this live, and it'd be like 8:30 at night. And he's talking all this shit. And we're sitting here in the chat going, this ain't live. There's no way he's awake right now. They're playing a pre-recorded video. This isn't a real live. And we would bitch and piss and moan about it. And now President Trump's actually showing videos that literally say previously recorded or moments ago. That is not live. And if I say anything about it, then I'm a bastard. It's okay when Biden does it, but it ain't okay when Trump's White House does it. That doesn't make sense. Just like KJP coming out and doing press briefers and stuff, and we were just roasting her. Oh, you're fucking shit at your job. Caroline Levitt's doing pressers from the parking lot. If KJP or Jen Balsacki would do that, oh my God, we'd be up in arms. We'd be like, get in the White House and do your job. Stop doing pressers from the parking lot, especially when they're not scheduled. And the only way to see it is by being a person on X. That's the only way you get to see those parking lot pressers, is if you're following one of the 6 people that are there in the parking lot the day they decide to do it randomly. We would never accept that from Biden's press secretary, any of them. But for some reason, when it's Caroline Levitt, oh no, you can't say anything about that. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's the shit right there that the left talks about. When they're talking bad about the right wing or MAGA or Trump supporters, and that's what they're talking about. And if we act like hypocrites, we're giving them the ammo to do it. And I'm always calling out this hypocrite shit. And I'm the one that gets shit on for that by hypocrites. Hypocrites are the ones shitting on me about it. There ain't nothing wrong with constructive criticism. I'm still glad I voted for President Trump, and it ain't his fault all this stuff is going wrong. It's, like I said, he ain't the person holding the camera. He's not the one with the Twitter fingers. He's running the country. Other people are in control of this, and the people who are in control of the media from the White House, they're doing a dog shit job right now. They absolutely are. And that's just all there is to it. Anybody's mad about that, you're a fucking hypocrite. Because like I've already said, we would never accept this stuff from the Biden administration. Anyways, let's go ahead and get in the last bit of the news. Now that I'm done with my TED Talk. Like I said, President Trump announces the release of all JFK files. It's supposed to happen sometime today, and we'll see. Come on, thing. Do the loading. And the astronauts are going to be landing in about 40 minutes just outside of Florida. How exciting. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
We're at the Kennedy Center. Needs a lot of work. We're going to fix it, make it beautiful. It's a very big part of the fabric of D.C. and the Capitol. We're bringing back the Capitol. We're bringing back our country. But while we're here, I thought it would be appropriate. We are tomorrow announcing and giving all of the Kennedy files. So people have been waiting for decades for this, and I've instructed my people that are responsible, lots of different people, put together by Tulsi Gabbard, and that's going to be released tomorrow. We have a tremendous amount of paper. You've got a lot of reading. I don't believe we're going to redact anything. I said, just don't redact. You can't redact. But we're going to be releasing the JFK files, and that would be tomorrow. Do you have anything else to add to that, Carolyn? So that's a big announcement. They've been waiting for that for decades. Then I said during the campaign I'd do it, and I'm a man of my word. So tomorrow you have the JFK files. What time will they be released? Tomorrow afternoon. Okay.
Have you seen what's in the files? Have you read them?
I've heard about them.
Was there anything interesting?
It's going to be very interesting.
Was there an executive summary supplied to you, Mr. President?
No, I'm not doing summaries. You'll write your own summaries. It's many pages. Is it 80,000 pages? Approximately 80,000 pages. So it's a lot of stuff. And you'll make your own determination.
You have criticized President Biden for using auto pen in the last few days. Have you yourself ever used auto pen, sir?
Yeah, only for very unimportant papers. And I don't call them unimportant. If you do letters where people write in and, they'd love to have a response, and we'll write responses, and I'll sign them whenever I can. But when I can't, I, would use an auto pen. But to use them for what they've used them for is terrible.
Yes, sir. And when you signed the CR,
Who are you with?
Sir, I'm with NBC.
Oh, that's the same one. I don't want to talk to NBC anymore. I think you're so discredited.
Mr. President, when most people think of the Kennedy Center, they think of the Kennedy Center Honors. It takes place in December every year. Is that something that you anticipate hosting at the White House? And what do you think that
We're going to have honors. We're going to have, I think it's going to be a much bigger show than it has been in the past. It got very boring, very radical left. Unless you were a radical left, it just seemed that nobody was chosen. There are a lot of people out there that can get the honors, and we're going to do it. I think we'll have a very big show. It's going to be a very big show. We have some surprises on that show, some big surprises, but I think it has a chance to be a very big show. That's a big part of the Kennedy Center, the honors that evening. And so I think you're going to be really surprised. I think it's going to get great ratings, actually.
Mr. President, there's been some discussion about potentially meeting with Putin in your administration. If there is a peace deal signed, would you be open to inviting Putin to the White House?
Well, I don't want to really even discuss it. I've got to get the deal signed. 2,000 people a week sometimes are killed, and we have to get that agreement signed. But that's the only thing I think about.
Are you confident that could happen tomorrow, as soon as tomorrow?
We're going to have a very important call. We've had calls, but we're getting down to a very critical stage. And we want to get the whole Russia-Ukraine thing done. And I think Ukraine wants it. I know they want it. Everybody wants it. It's tremendous death. The bloodshed is unbelievable, like few people have ever seen before.
And on the drug cartels, do you have a red line for the drug cartels that is crossed it would automatically trigger a military response from the U.S.?
Well, we'll see, but we're not going to put up with it. This country is not going to allow people to come in and dump drugs and kill our youth and other than our youth, too. Older people are very much affected, so it's we're not going to let that happen. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, on the 30-day ceasefire, Mr. President, is Ukraine's already committed to this? Would Russia commit to this as well, Mr. President?
All right. So, like the president said, we are supposed to be receiving the JFK files some point today, and they're supposed to be unredacted. Now, hopefully that's actually what happens. I don't think anybody's impressed when they finally release files and it's just big black boxes across all the info that you're supposed to be able to read. I don't know. I have faith in President Trump. It's the people around him that are kind of screwing things up. So we will see how things go. Like I said, I just looked through X right before we played that video. I didn't see anybody all excited about JFK files, so I assume all of us are still waiting. That is the last little bit of the news I had for you hooligans today. We got some fun stuff coming up. We're going to be opening today's door from the advent calendar that was sent to us by Wad. And then we have two funny videos. First one's titled, "The Liberals Just Can't Catch a Break." And our official funny video of the day is titled, "Donald Trump's House of Wings." All of that's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about President Trump answering questions, as well as telling us we're supposed to be getting the JFK files today unredacted. Snooks, well, it's up to Tulsi now. Yeah, it's true. Russell, damn, busting out the media. Yeah, right to their face. Telling them they're not credible anymore. Love that. Nana, why won't they release it now? I don't know what they were waiting for. I don't know why they need so much time to release it. Like I said, I'm not seeing anything on X. I'll take another gander really quick. 11 seconds ago, The Hill says President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin back limited Ukraine ceasefire after marathon call. So, I mean, according to The Hill, they're claiming that there's some form of ceasefire going on right now. But not that long, like 20 minutes ago, somebody was just saying that Russia hit Ukraine. So I'll have to look into this. But let me see if I can find anything on these files really quick, because it'll be on X before it's anywhere else. Nope. Everybody's just memeing the shit out of it. That's all that's going on. No files yet. Metal Mouth, it's too bad you can't post pics on Rumble. I'd show you the shirt I was wearing. Gotta join the website. Post all kinds of stuff over on the website. We got GIFs and all that. So you can post pictures and all kinds of stuff right there in the chat. Gotta join the website. Non-woke, will it be as informative as the Epstein files? Asking for a friend. Well, like I was kind of mentioning earlier, what does it actually matter? So say that release the JFK files, 80,000 pages of goodness. You go out there and you read that some radical was doing bad things to JFK, but then the CIA was involved and our government helped kill that guy, you know, and covered it up, lied about it, made the media lie about it, and now we all know. Well, what does that do? Nothing. It literally does nothing. It absolutely does nothing. Still got to go to work tomorrow. Still got to feed your kids. Still got to crack a can for Klaus Daniels. You know, like, it doesn't do anything. Who's going to jail? Nobody's going to jail. Oh, okay. So then we just know that everything's fucked up. But we already think that. So other than getting that confirmation that the government's as bad as we think it is, what do we get? Nothing. It absolutely solves no problems. But at least it'll be another promise that President Trump kept, which is good. He campaigned on it, and it's going to happen, and that's great. but it doesn't actually do anything. Not that I can think of. Do you guys have suggestions? Do you think it's actually going to matter? Where I know the government covers things up and lies about things and kills people and, you know. So having them admit it, what would that actually do? Josh 1776 creates even less trust in the legacy media, and Dems will lose the last tool they have. Yeah. Pumpkin, I think it's a ceasefire on energy and infrastructure that Trump and Putin agreed on for now. That's interesting. It's something. It's better than nothing. Appeal to heaven, it sounds like the CIA is still controlling everything. Absolutely. Bobby, everybody is dead that was involved. That's what I mean. Like, it's, you know, at least we get 80,000 pages of something to read. Nana, there has to be a reason why they don't release it today. Well, it's not over with. It's 5:30. I mean, they could release it at 11:59 tonight and they'd still be right. And they still would have released it today. So I have faith that they will. And if they don't, then, you know, whatever. We'll see how it goes. Non-woke, will the documents identify the shooter on the grassy knoll? That's what I wonder, non-woke, because they've already admitted that there's 2 shooters. And up until like 3 weeks ago, that was never a validated thing. Now they're saying for sure there was 2 shooters involved. And so, you know, it'll help uncover the unknown unknowns. But like I said, at the end of the day, I don't think it really makes a difference. Non-woke, where's the Trump assassination attempt files? Yeah. Yep. I can't remember what the first shooter's name was, but we never got any more information out of that. And they're still dancing around Ryan Ruth. He went to court, never heard a follow-up about what actually happened in court. And the feds are like trying not to give him assassination attempt charges. They're trying to give him lesser charges, which is bullshit. Everybody knows what he was there for. And they're trying to act like, well, you don't know. Okay, he could have been camping with a rifle and he was on a golf course, but he was stargazing. See, it was 2 a.m. in the morning when he got there. Like, they're trying to, like, repaint the whole damn story. Like, he wasn't there to get at, you know, President Trump. So it'll be really interesting when we get follow-up on Ryan Ruth. Meta. Knowing hopefully gives conclusions for people. Yeah, that's true. Metamorph. I use Xiaomi phones, and I'm sure everybody's all mad at that. But these phones are better than all the Samsungs and all the iPhones. And they come in a lot of different forms, but literally all of them are better than all the iPhones and all the Samsung phones. I believe it's spelt like this. So go look up those phones. They're cheaper than mainstream phones, and they're better. Like my phone, this phone has a 200 megapixel camera. I bet there's not one person in the chat hits 200 megapixels. This phone's been out for 4 years. That's what's so crazy about it. It also has a 600 milliamp battery, which is more than the Samsungs and the iPhones. It also has an infrared laser out of the top, so I can use it like a universal remote. I can control random TVs and radios and all kinds of digital devices just simply by pointing my phone at it, clicking the mute button until it mutes, and now I have control over that device. It's a neat phone. It's a neat phone. I've owned them for 10 years at this point. I've had 4 of them. They're all badass. So definitely go check it out. What's up, Starn? Happy freedom to you. Phillips, Xiaomi. It's spelled like this. What's up, Austin? Happy freedom to you. Mitchell, turn off pacemakers. No, I would never use it like that. It used to be convenient when I worked at the factory, though, because we'd have stormy days. And we'd go in the lunchroom and all the TVs would be like with the snow all over the screen, and I'd be like shutting all the TVs off and stuff. It's convenient. Hair juicer, I think the driver killed him. Yeah, there's a lot of video that kind of suggests that. You can see the driver turn and he has something in his hand. And it's like the first shot happens, I think. And then the driver turns and it looks like the driver shoots him. Zero Crook. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Metalmouth, how long does it take usually for a profile picture to update? I don't know, Metalmouth. I've had the same picture for a couple years now, so I don't really know on that. Bobby, it has a self-destruct button. No, not yet. No, I didn't have that installed. Mary Tide, you could, as long as you ain't got to drive today. Alright, hooligans, let's get into the fun stuff. Like I said, we're going to be opening today's door from the advent calendar that was sent to us by Wad. And then we will be covering our 2 funny videos of the day. But before we do that, I want to remind you, hooligans, really quick, if you would like to support the live to keep us running, you're welcome to use that Linktree link in the description in order to send donations. You can do that by using PayPal, Cash App, Stripe, Locals, Buy Me a Coffee, or you can even send crypto. Like I said, we're going to open today's door from the advent calendar that was sent to us by Wad. Let me get everything situated here. Today is day 6, it's looking like. No, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I don't need a drink. Today is day 6, so we got to figure out where door 6 is, because as I show you guys every day, these numbers are not in order because it's full of whiskey. So let's figure out where the creators put door 6. Oh man, I found it quick today. Yesterday I was struggling. I needed my old man glasses, which I don't have yet because I've never been to an eye doctor, but that's okay. Ugh, what do we get today? Get this paper out of here. Today we got the Irishman, Founders Reserve Irish Whiskey. It looks like some good stuff here. Also, you can actually look these bottles up. One of these I was looking up during the voice chat on Friday, and I think it was this Cairo Distillery Company for the malt rye. This is good whiskey here, although my camera will not show it. This is good stuff here. I actually was drinking this during the voice chat, but this is something new. Thank you, Wad. Appreciate you so much. All right, we're going to get into our funny videos real quick here. Let me get things pulled up. Ah, yes. I remember. Alright, first funny video of the day is titled, "The Liberals Just Can't Catch a Break."
Please don't cry like that. Please don't, Brennan.
That'll be alright. Alright, we're going to get into our official funny video of the day. Let me get this pulled up. I love this video. This is not the first time we have played this as the funny video of the day, but I just love it so much. We're bringing it back. This is titled Donald Trump's House of Wings. Heck yeah, I'd get some chicken wings. Donald Trump's House of Wings. I wish that was a real thing. He should just do it at this point. Anyways, hooligans, that is all the coffee I had for you guys today. I'm going to drop this Linktree link in all of the chats. We're going to read through really quick. We got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. Alright, hooligans, there is the Linktree link where all of my links are listed. So if you'd like to make donations, join membership programs, or purchase any merch, I would really appreciate it. All of your guys' contributions keep us running every day except for Sunday, because we got to have a day to recharge those batteries. Definitely go join Discord. Discord is our free hooligan community. It's the best way to be notified every single time we go live. The hooligans are there, keeping the conversation going 24/7. And we have 2 news boards to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. So definitely go join Discord. If you're feeling real saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. Over on the website, it is the best way to experience the live. Our built-in chat has more ability than any other platform. You can post memes and GIFs and custom emojis and links and all kinds of stuff right there while watching the live. You'll have access to Hooligans Alley, which is our private social media area. You'll have access to the forums, which is to encourage open discussion. You'll have access to the arcade, which is full of games that is a ton of fun. I was actually playing blackjack earlier. You will also have access to our advanced messaging system with the built-in group chats that gives you the ability to text each other, call each other, video call each other, group texting, group calling, group video calling, and more. jeffmaclive.com is the place to be and the home of the hooligans. So definitely go get yourself a membership. We're going to read through and we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. Snook's making wings great again. That's right. I'm saying if he came out with the Donald Trump's House of Wings and that was the slogan, making wings great again, oh my God. They'd be putting like McDonald's out of business, places like that. Popeyes, people would never go to Popeyes again. Going down to Trump's. J Spray making wings affordable again. That'd be nice. Cassie J, I want to try the Hellspawn level wings. That stuff would wreck me. I could do little spicy. Mucho piquito. Little spicy. Russell, I want some Trump wings. Cassie J, that would have been perfect whiskey for yesterday. I know. Snows, maybe you should just chug this one. No. I got to work on the website a little bit, and I think, hopefully I can get the merch together today. I was working on it yesterday, but I had a couple other hang-ups, so I had to have Alistair make some changes. Also, I think it was Metal Mouth. Somebody had made a shirt suggestion just 10 minutes ago or something like that. I did let Alistair know, so I'll see what he says. We already got 3 or 4 designs that haven't even come out yet, but good stuff on the way. What's up, Winston? Happy freedom to you. Winston, the JFK files will clearly prove that the little person dressed as a baby and the cigarette-smoking man from the X-Files were the second and third shooters. Pretty sure. I think you're onto something there, Winston. Be careful. You get that knock on the door. Just yell, no one's home. It works every time. Mike T, always nice to have a fallback profession. I don't know, President Trump, he's so good at branding. I'm saying that's like $1 billion idea. He should just come out with the Donald Trump House of Wings. Thank you, Pumpkin. You're the bestest. Hey, thank you for being here. Appeal to Heaven. Hey, thank you, Too Old to Care. Appreciate you sticking with me. Thank you, MU. What's up, Paul? Happy freedom to you. Well, today was kind of a tough one. I was having a lot of tech issues. Of course, now we're at the end of the show, and everything's running smooth, at least for right now. Now that I said it, I jinxed myself, but it's been kind of a rough one today, Paul. A lot of good info, though, if you got time to watch the replay. Pumpkin having cashew chicken for supper. I've never heard of that, but I hope it turns out fantastic. Cody, I got to get me some of that chicken back. I know what I'm saying. He's like, it's better than the head, it's better than the torso, it's better than the back. I'm like, I've never had chicken jerky before. Wonder what that's like. Mary Todd, Hellspawn? That's hot. Yeah, I couldn't do it. Non-woke, we reached the gold age. That's right. Puffin stuff back when Saturday Night Live was funny. Yeah, because they had President Trump. Kelsey, I'd go for Trump wings. Mm-hmm. You hooligans got to rack those likes up over on Rumble. Appreciate you, MU. Thank you. Thank you, Viola. Appreciate you being with us. Meta, shot, then try and say my name 3 times in a row. I can barely say your name once in a row. No, I can't do shots today. I'll be messing up the website and stuff. Hey, thank you, Vinny C. Appreciate you being here with me. Find a fix it. You see that 90 tornadoes? No, I did not see that. Holy crap. I don't know how I missed that. I didn't see anything about tornadoes. What's up, Jim? Happy Freedom. Thank you for being here, Itchy. Hey, I appreciate you, Wayward. Thank you. All right, hooligans, it is that time once again. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, let's get these beats rolling. All right, hooligans, like I said, that is all the coffee I had for you guys today. We will be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. I'll be keeping an eye out for Caroline Leavitt in case we have a press briefing tomorrow. I will also do my best to try and keep an eye on President Trump's public schedule to try and see when we can capture him live. I might write a stern letter to the White House because I'm tired of the media team. It's not about Trump. It's about whoever's in charge of media at the White House. They need to move aside and let a real hooligan do it because they're just doing a shit job. We're going to read through one last time and we're wrapping this up. Jay Spray, is jerk chicken the same as choking a chicken? I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. Cassie J, God bless America. That's right. Appreciate you, Cassie J. Ghostly, do you think chickens just used to be turkeys at one point? I don't know. I don't know about a whole lot about the politics of chickens. They're all chickens to me. Crows, seagulls. There's eagles, hawks, and chickens, and that's all I see. That's all I acknowledge in the bird world. And if they got a problem with it, they can come say something to me about it. But until then, they're all a bunch of chickens to me. So, you know. Appreciate you, Appeal to Heaven. Thank you for being here. That's right, Nana. Play ball. Pumpkin, I love chicken. Oh, I love chicken too. I don't like dealing with them while they're alive, though. They're a bunch of little bastards. Thank you, Rappy. Appreciate you being here with us. Paul, cashew chicken rocks? I'm going to have to look into that. I've never heard of that before. Ghostly, the more you know. That's right. Hey, I appreciate you, Jay Spray. Thank you for sticking with us. Snooks, why do you men call your thangs chickens? We didn't start that. We just carried it on. It's because they give us so many names. You know, when you start off, you're like, what's this thing? Your parents are like, that's your wiener. Stop touching it. You get a little older, you're like, hey, baby, you want to see this wiener? She's like, you call it a wiener? And you're like, what am I supposed to call it? And then you find out they call it a chicken. You're like, man, this thing's got more names than my cat. Shit. I don't know. Best toy I ever had. Stern, just cook it well done. That's how I cook everything. Thank you, Crazy Times. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Meta. Thanks for being here, Teasel. And happy freedom to you. What's up, Loves? Loves, jerking and choking a chicken seems about equal. I mean, Just trust the science, okay? Just trust the science. Yeah, Wayward, I'd love to hear it. Non-woke, we didn't start the fire. That's right. It was not us. We just carried on the tradition. MU, both are game foul. See, I don't know enough about chickens like that. Viola, Crew 9 getting ready to splash down in a few minutes. Oh yeah, they're supposed to be splashing down in about 6 minutes. Thank you for reminding me. Jab, my cousin got kicked out of the petting zoo for choking a chicken. He was 4 though. Yeah, Jeb, you know it happens. We are as we are. Wayward, I only slam ham. I've never talked about women like that before. Stupid. Alright, hooligans, we're wrapping this up. Like I said, we will be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time, for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. We'll keep an eye out for Caroline Leavitt if there's a press briefing. We'll be keeping an eye on President Trump's public schedule in case we can capture him live. Go out there and have a good night tonight. Go enjoy the nice weather if you got nice weather. And if you have tornadoes, please be safe. And if you don't have tornadoes, well, you still got to keep an eye out for those liberals and Democrats because they're so angry they're cutting their wieners off. Anyways, I appreciate all of you guys for being here. Please make your way back to us tomorrow. Hit that like button if you haven't hit it already, because we gotta get back in the habit of doing that. Either way, I appreciate all of you guys. Huge shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.